apparently Buffy Sainte-Marie, the famous folk singer, is a member of a tribe called the Pretendians. Okay, these are people, usually white people, who say that they're Native American, or in her case, Native Canadian. They're part of the indigenous population, and they're not. Okay, she claimed that she was adopted by a couple in which the father was of Italian ancestry and the mother of English ancestry. It appears she was not adopted at all. She's not a Native Canadian. She's not an indigenous Canadian. And there are a lot of reasons why people become pretendians. And I think one reason is that there are certain things that are set aside specifically for Native people. And they want to get on those goodies. They want to get on an award that, is supposed to go to an indigenous person. And so that's one reason. It's just simple financial gain. But another reason is I believe that there is still, that white people in general have a kind of sense of guilt. It's such thing as white guilt. We came in and we stole the land from the Native peoples, okay? Our ancestors, we're talking about the 15th, the 16th century, the 17th century, the 18th century. White people did do a lot of what was then called conquering. But the Native Americans had stole the land from other Native Americans for tens of thousands of years. I mean, they got here about 35,000 years ago, and obviously the land switched hands quite a few times. They were often at war with each other. And also when there were wars between the United States and a certain Indian tribe, we were often allied with another Indian tribe. Okay? So, this whole idea that white people are uniquely guilty of something is wrong. We have a right to be here as much as anybody else, okay? And, there's no way to give the land back to the Native Americans, nor would there have been a way to find out which Native American group was first owning which parcel of land, because it would go back tens of thousands of years. And the identities had shifted during that time period. The groups had shifted during that time period, and there had been conquering back and forth between various native ethnic groups or tribes, for thousands of years, for tens of thousands of years. Asians have conquered, Native Americans have conquered, Black people have conquered, Polynesians have conquered, and white people have conquered. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that this was good, just saying that it was a fact of life. And, and also I think that a lot of white people seem to get some sort of brownie points out of saying that they are ashamed of their skin color. There was a Jewish folk singer named Frank, who did a song in which she said, "It makes me ashamed for the color of my skin," that some bad people were white. Why should she feel ashamed of the color of her skin? Bad people have been in all colors. And so I think that this tendency among some groups for white people to believe that white people in general are uniquely guilty of anything may be contributing to the pretendian phenomenon. It does the romanticization of the native cultures. For a long time they were demonized as savages, and now they have a kind of noble savage, with the word savage in quotes, aura to them. The idea that they are somehow better than other people. They're not better or worse. That just doesn't wash. Plains Indian tribes were very warlike. They got into battles with each other. And sometimes one tribe would get into a battle with the white people, and another tribe would ally with the white people. Over and over again, if you look at the history of Indian wars in America, the Caucasians were fighting one group and allied with another. There was also the practice, very common among some Indian groups, of brutally torturing prisoners. Sometimes it was the women who were responsible for the torture of the prisoners. Okay, and the things like that go on in Caucasians, of course. Blacks, yes. Asians, whatever. Okay, all those things, go on there. But I do think that white people